Hello, friends. Hello, Yoga Moguls. Welcome to your July 2021 Yoga Mogul Mastermind. Somebody reached out to me a couple of weeks ago asking for help and coaching for their struggling yoga business. And when I sat down to think about what makes a successful yoga studio or what makes a thriving yoga studio business, I decided to kind of summarize or identify 3 to 5 biggest things. And I wanted to share them with you today. I've also worked with a lot of you guys. I looked at your businesses. I look at your Instagram presence. I look at your e-blasts. I come to y'all studios. So, just like anything else in life, success leaves clues. And I hope you guys are going out there and checking out other yoga businesses. And if you're not, I highly encourage you to do that. It is market research, and also it's a great way to gain inspiration and get new ideas for your own business. When I had my 7 yoga studios, I always went to other places, if not necessarily in my local town, but whenever I traveled, I even took trips just to check out other yoga businesses, especially the ones that are successful, especially the ones that are thriving, because I know that success leaves clues. Why reinvent the wheel when you can learn from somebody who's already doing it really, really well? So today I want to share with you a few things that, in my opinion, ingredients to a really successful and thriving yoga business. This is what we've done at our 7 studios. This is what helped us grow and quantum leap to a completely different level of business, so to speak. So the first and foremost, I didn't necessarily put them in the order of priority, but I think this number one is really, really important. And oftentimes people don't really think about this one. I know that when I first started with my first yoga studio, which was just one room, I didn't even think about this one. I was so busy handling the operations, getting the business started, that I didn't think about this number one major ingredient until probably year 3 or year 5, something like that. So 5 years into the business, that's when I started thinking about this. And I want to bring it to the forefront of your mind because it is very, very important. And this is what we call the energy or the culture of your community. And I know you all probably have heard many podcasts and business books. I remember when I was listening about that culture, I always rolled my eyes. I was like, I don't care about that. Who cares when I have so many fires to put out? But now looking back, I know that once Roger and I have identified what is it that we want the feel, the energy, the culture of our community to be, everything shifted. Once we knew what it is that we wanted to create, that's when I can pinpoint the exact moment when our business really took off. So in more detail, the energy of your community is what will essentially draw people to your community. Most of us as studio owners, most of us think about like the schedule, the classes, we think about like the facility, and we very rarely actually step back to take a look at the bigger picture. And I'm just here to remind you that there is so many yoga offerings out there. What sets you apart? Especially in this day and age, people want to feel some type of way. They come to yoga not just to work out, not just do their practice, but essentially they come to feel some type of way. So today I want you to set aside a moment to think about what is it that you want to create in your community, and is it actually something that you're creating, or you're just repeating your what I call inherited legacy. And let me specify what that means. When I first opened my yoga studio, I just repeated what other people did. And at that time, back in 2008, the vast majority of yoga studios the culture was like this. There was silence in the yoga room. You're not allowed to talk because this is the meditative space. So people never connected before class. Everybody went into the yoga room really quiet, really serious, and sat down on their mats. And there was no talking allowed in the yoga class after the class. So everybody kind of left quietly. And I remember I went to this yoga studio for 3 years, pretty much every single day, and I never made one single friend. I mean, I recognize the same people over and over again, but we actually never connected. And although I acknowledge that it was partially my own thing, like I never reached out to them, but the culture of that studio was not such that encouraged community and connection. Are you with me? So a lot of times as we lead our yoga business, we are simply repeating our inherited legacy, either something that everybody else is doing or something that we'll learn from our teachers or from the community that we really enjoyed, that we used to be a part of. So I want to invite you to truly step into the place of creation. And this is one a biggie. The energy of your community essentially withdraw the clientele, the yogis to come to your community, and the people who will be working with you, the people who will be working for you. And honestly, it's like do you want to spend time? Because I mean, I know that you spend all of your time at your yoga studio. Do you enjoy spending your time there? So the questions that I want to ask you is, how do people feel like when they come to your yoga studio? How do you want them to feel like? So I'll tell you what shift we've made. So about probably 3 years into the business, maybe a little bit longer, that's when we truly started expanding. My husband, actually, Roger, was like, why do we always do this? Why is there silence in the yoga room? Yes, this is how it has always been, but does it really have to be that way? So we decided very consciously that our yoga community will be all about community and connection and fun and friendships and forging really deep human bonds. So what we decided to do is, we made it fun. We started playing music before yoga class and after yoga class. We encouraged people to connect with each other. I would walk into the room, and as people are coming in and sitting down, a couple of times before the beginning of the class, I would say things like, go meet 3 new people in the room. Tell them who you are. Tell them your favorite flavor of ice cream. Tell them your favorite movie. What do you like to do? So we consciously and deliberately encourage and facilitated that human connection. And as a result, we built a really thriving yoga community. People were best friends. People traveled the world together. People got married. People became their children's godparents and things like that. To this day, Yoga One no longer exists. Yoga Works, who we sold the business to, no longer exists, but the community is still there. Those friendships are still there. Those people are still posting on Facebook every day how they go out to dinner, how they just hang out, go on vacation stuff. And that makes me really, really happy. And I'll tell you that if I were to look back and pinpoint the most important thing that was the major ingredient to our success, hands down, I'll tell you that our culture, our community, that vibrant energy that we generated within our yoga studios, that was the secret sauce, so to speak. So if you've never sat down to reflect on what kind of energy you want to create in your yoga studios, I encourage you to do that. It is really, really important. I would say it's the most important ingredient to your success. And then just to go a little bit deeper, what I also want to ask you is, does your yoga studio, does your yoga community have the energy of life? Life meaning, is it alive? Is it vibrant? Or does it have the energy of dying off? Now, please listen to me. There is a universal law that goes like this. There is no static in the universe. You're either growing or you're dying. You're either evolving or you're dying. Am I making sense? So your job as a leader of your community is to constantly look down the road, look at the bigger picture, and always lead your community for growth and expansion. I'm not talking about, adding more location. You can, but you don't have to. What I'm talking about is energetic expansion. What I'm talking about is energetic growth, that vibrancy that everybody can feel. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just for a moment, one day come to your yoga studio as a client, right? And do your best to set aside your ownership of your studio, set aside, your teacher mentality, do your best to set aside your familiarity with everything and try to experience your studio through the eyes of a brand new person. Just see how it goes, because and how the energy of your studio feels. And if it doesn't feel like it's growing, doesn't feel vibrant, it doesn't feel alive and fun and full of energy and vitality, you need to do something to change it. And here are the next few things that I want to show you, are some ideas on how to shift that. So ultimately, before we close this particular point, what I want to say is ultimately we as human beings, we crave human connection. Even the most hermit-like, I'm a hermit. Deep inside, I really love being alone. I love being at home. I'm a hermit. I am a loner. But even me, I acknowledge that. I don't hide that. But even me, I crave human connection once in a while. And when I go to, especially to a yoga studio, I want to connect with people. So what I'm inviting you to do is look for opportunities to facilitate and encourage that human connection, because ultimately that's why the people will come to you, not because you have the best yoga classes in town or you have the most beautiful yoga studio in town. I mean, raise your hand if you know truly beautiful spaces, beautiful furniture, beautiful decor, the great location of yoga studios who went out of business, right? Or people who offered really great product and then somehow they still went out of business. Why is that? Ultimately, it's not about the yoga room. It's not about the facility. It's not even about the type of yoga that you teach. It's all about the energy. It's all about how people feel when they come to your yoga studio. And once again, it is about human connection. They want to be a part of something bigger. They want to feel connected. And that is the number one key to your success as a business owner. It's a key ingredient to your, it's like secret sauce to the success of your yoga business. So this brings me to the second thing that I want to point out, the secret to success, so to speak. And it goes hand in hand with the previous topic that we talked about, which has to do with energy. And let me remind you that everything in this world is energy. Everything is energy. So once you understand that, then you can literally shape your physical reality once the energy is flowing, so to speak. So let me explain. So number 2 ingredient to success is a constant inflow of fresh energy into your business. Let me explain what I mean by that. Like inflow of fresh new energy. The number one thing, and I think I talked about it in our last month's gathering, but I want to remind you again, you must ensure there are new people constantly coming to your yoga studio at all times. And if you don't have a clear strategy and an action plan to ensure that is happening, you need to stop and create it right now. It is that important. Why? If you were to look at your KPIs, key performance indicators, some of you I know are brand new businesses, but those of you who have been in business for many years, look back, not just by month, but look year over year over year. And I guarantee you, because from my own experience, and I coached a lot of people around the world, the yoga business owners, I guarantee you, in this industry, in the yoga industry, we have very low conversion and we have very low retention rates. It's just the nature of our industry. Think about it. If retention rate is low, year over year retention rate, I don't remember right now. I think the average is like, if I were to guess off the top of my head, the average would be less than 50%. I'd say it's closer to 30% retention rate. Some studios, my clients, I looked and their retention rate is less than 10%. What does it mean? That means year over year, they're retaining less than 10% of their people, meaning out of 100 people who came last year, only 10 people are coming this year. Do you see the problem with that? If your retention rate is low and you're not consciously working on bringing in new clients into the door, it's just a math. You're going to go out of business. Are you with me? So your job as a studio owner is to ensure, create a clear strategy and action plan, have several things going at the same time that will ensure a constant inflow of brand new people coming into the door. Now, I don't want to spend too much time about it, but I want you to remind you that the most effective way to bring you, the most effective form of marketing, so to speak, is client referral. It's word of mouth marketing. So do you have a clear, communicated, and incentivized client referral program? And if you don't, it's the time for you to create that. So I don't know what it can be. Bring 3 people, get, I don't know, 1 month of yoga free, or bring 5 people, get a month of yoga free, or bring 3 people and get a free t-shirt. Anything. Back in the day, in the early 2000s, I used to go to the studio in Houston. And I'm just the type of person, when I'm in love, when I love what I do, I tell the whole world about it. And I remember, I think I brought in like 25 people, 25 brand new people to that yoga studio. I was just so excited about it. I was telling everybody, my coworkers, my friends, my neighbors, everybody who would listen. I was raving about that yoga studio because I loved it so much. And I remember they gave me a free towel with like a towel, regular bath towel with their logo on it. And I was so happy. I was so grateful to get that towel. It was so silly. But I remember I just felt like acknowledged. And it was just a freaking bath towel, but it made me feel some type of way. So, some ideas, and I'm not going to go deep into this, but the strategy, a clear strategy and an action plan to bring new students into your studio can be maybe 1 to 3 ways to incentivize your current members to bring in new clients, right? It can be anything from rewarding them with a month of free yoga, or a 5-class pass they can give away to their friends or family, or a free t-shirt, or even like if they're really badass about it, they can even win maybe an annual pass. You can even have a challenge like that. And the person who brings in most clients will get an annual pass to your yoga studio. Does it make sense? So it doesn't ultimately cost you anything, but it creates that healthy sense of competition. If you blast it out through all of your social media and you make it a fun thing, then people, your clients who already love you, will tell the whole world about you, because they have that a little bit of a incentive, right? And some of us who are really competitive will really want to win. So client referral incentives, Facebook and Instagram ads, if you know how to run them masterfully, it's a great way to spread the word out. Intro special, Google ads, and then flash sales are some ideas on how you can bring in new clients back into the door. And let me just tell you that it is so much easier, since we're on the topic, it's so much easier to retain and convert a person who's already coming in into the door than bringing in a random person off the street to come into your yoga studio. So please, please, please give all of your attention, love, and care to the people who are already coming into the door, especially those new people who walked in. Train your entire team to say hello, to connect with them, to answer their question. Do you have any, I see you're brand new. Do you have any questions? Have you tried this class? Have you tried this class? My favorite teacher and this and that. Have you tried her class? And things like that. Do you know about our community events? Do you know about our auto pay membership special if you sign up during your intro special? So just, you know, and again, it's kind of not the topic of this particular conversation, but you know, I want to highlight that it is important to hold hands, especially the first 2 weeks when the brand new person comes into the door. And I hope you have a clearly communicated strategy on what you and your team are doing to make that person feel welcome. This is important. It doesn't just happen. You have to teach your team. You have to train your team to do that. In our Yoga One studios, our rule for all of our employees was, whenever you are in the radius of 6 feet around anybody, you stop what you're doing, you look them in the eye, and you say, hi, how are you? And you know, there are studies done that simple question, looking at the person and saying, hi, how are you doing? That alone has a significant result on your revenues, because people feel connected. I'm not going to go there, but ultimately, all of our team was trained to do that. Hi, hello, how are you doing? I'm Albina. Are you new? You know, how are you like? Do you have any questions about our community? Do you have any questions about yoga? Do you know that if you sign up for AutoPay while you're on the intro special, you get a massive discount? So I guess what I'm trying to say, none of it happens on its own. Every single one of those, all of these little ingredients to success happen when you are mindful and intentional about that. And this is just what I want to remind you. And then the second thing that I want to say on this idea of constant inflow of fresh energy into your business is new offerings. And I always say that the 2 ingredients of success are very, very simple. 2 ingredients of success are innovation and marketing. You'll hear me say it over and over and over again. Innovation and marketing, not only bringing new clients in, but innovation is in new offerings. Things like new community events, new products, something fresh, right? So if you've been offering the same thing over and over and over again for the last 10 years, even though people who are coming to your studio are loving it, I promise you, there is a large audience that has already moved on to experience other things. So, and again, I've already, you know, if you go back into the archives, you will hear me talk about this in more depth, but I'm going to just tell you really quickly that we all have our basic human needs. And one of those basic human needs is stability and safety. And another one is variety. There are some of us who really love the predictable things. They like things that like constant, right? People who love just the same set sequence. They love their favorite teacher. They love their favorite time, and they have that daily routine, right? They don't like anything new. So for those type of people, like at our community, we had our hot classes with a set sequence. We were targeting those people who really liked stability, predictability, consistency. Now, we also understand that there is another large group of people who really crave variety. These are the people who are adventurous, who like to experiment, who hate like things being the same over and over again. So for those people, we offered our flow classes, and I'm talking big big picture, right? Flow classes that have more variety, that even though there is a blueprint, there is a lot of wiggle room for self-expression for the teacher, right? For those people, we targeted those classes for the people who loved variety. And then there is a large portion of the population who fall somewhere in between. They like the set sequences, they like predictability, but they also like occasional variety. So do you see how intentionally, knowing that these are our basic human needs, every single one of us falls under one of these categories, knowing that our strategy, our offerings were based on that. So people who like predictability, I don't even know why I went on this target. I went on this tangent of, so new offerings. So know that, you don't just rip everything out and reinvent the wheel. You keep your existing offerings exactly the way they are, because this is your bread and butter. The people who come to your studio today are the people who love what you're already doing so well. But what I'm also saying is innovation, once a year, bring in something new. Right. So, and look at it not like I'm going to lose the clients who already love what I'm doing. The truth is, some of them will leave when you experiment with bringing something new. But your focus needs to be, when you bring in something new, you're tapping into a completely new category of people. And that transition is really, really scary to make. Let me just tell you a couple of stories. So when we first opened in 2008 with one small yoga studio, we offered only 90-minute hot classes. Back in the day, that was modeled by the Bikram yoga, and Bikram yoga in those days was thriving. Everybody was doing Bikram yoga. All the celebrities were doing Bikram yoga. So we modeled our 90-minute hot classes inspired by the Bikram yoga. Now, as yoga evolved, as our community evolved, we wanted to experiment a little bit, and we said, well, why are we doing 90-minute hot classes? If you were to think about it, it takes like 2.5, 3 hour chunk out of your day. Who can afford that kind of time investment? If you have kids, if you have like a career, a 3-hour investment into yoga is really like a big time investment. So we said, well, what if we experiment with 1-hour hot classes? So we recreated a 1-hour sequence that was just as challenging for a 60-minute class. And we rolled it out. I don't remember the details, but I think we rolled it out as maybe an experimental 3 times a week slot, and it wasn't a peak slot. But what I'll tell you, within a couple of months, those classes were packed. They were packed. And what we decided to do, we added more classes, and those 60-minute classes started thriving. So then we decided to shift all the 90-minute classes to a 60-minute classes. Now, there were people who loved 90-minute classes. They hated it. They made it very clear that they did not enjoy it. They threatened to quit their membership and leave if we didn't bring back the 90-minute classes. And it was the hardest decision to make. We still made that transition to a 60-minute class, probably 90% of the schedule. And those hardcore people who loved 90-minute classes, they did leave. But what happened on the other side is our attendance grew like 10 times, 20 times. Our revenues grew as a result. The classes that used to have, let's say, 30 people, all of a sudden had 100 people. So the numbers paint the picture. Do you know what I mean? But if we were to focus on the people who threatened to leave, we would have never experienced that kind of growth. And ultimately, your heart is your compass. You decide what feels right to you, but don't make a decision out of fear. Always make your decisions rooted in your heart and what it is that you desire, not what it is that you're fearful of. And I can give you so many examples when you're bringing something new, your new offering, and it's so scary to do because some people will resist that. As a matter of fact, most people resist change. The vast majority of people resist change. People do not like change. But I will tell you, if you want to be successful entrepreneur, we're talking business right now. If you want to be successful as a business owner, as a leader, your job is to leading the change. That is your job. This is what you do. You constantly innovate, and that is a secret to your success as a yoga studio owner. Oh, I need to hurry up and finish these up. So the third one, now I'm getting kind of, the next few, they're not like in the order of priority. I just think they are important. And for some of you, it's going to feel like, duh, obviously. But for others, it's going to be like mind blowing, like, oh, I never thought about it like that. I'm going to talk a little bit about, so funny, I put it under signage. But I mean so much more than that. Now, look, you guys, I know that you're in this business because it is your heart's calling. It is your soul's calling. You are in this business because you love it. And it is a business, and you need to run it as a business. And this is where I see the vast majority of people tripping up. Now, signage is important. What do I mean by that? A freaking sign on the outside of your building that says yoga, because people don't know where you are or what it is that you do. I mean, it sounds so like simple, but I see so many yoga studios that you don't know from the street what it is. Or like there'd be studios on a really busy street, but they don't have signage from every street to tell the people who are driving by that they're located there. So if you're from Houston, one of our locations, Yoga One Bel Air, was literally in the Bel Air triangle. 3 streets were like, it was making a triangle with 3 streets. Guess what? We put signage on every one of those corners and on the building, on both sides of the building. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signs on that little one studio, so that people driving by could see the signage from all the directions. It is important. Am I making sense? I mean, like, duh, it's so obvious, but so many of you are not understanding the importance of the signage. Or if you have an intro special, design a really beautiful poster and put it everywhere. If you put it on the outside of your studio so people who are walking by can see it. It's marketing, it's promotion, right? If you don't have a price menu at your front desk, I see so many yoga studios who don't. You are losing sales right now. Let me just tell you, if you don't have a big sign that tells your people all the pricing options that you have, I'm willing to bet my right arm you're missing at least 30% of the sales. People who come into the studio, you need to tell people what their options are. You need to make it easy for them to buy from you. If they have to go on the internet and search for all the pricing, now I'm not even going to go into some of y'all's websites. It's just so confusing. Your website, the number one thing that you need to like make it obvious is buy now. You have to make it so like buy now and schedule need to be the most important places in your website. But let me stay, I can talk for hours about this. But ultimately, when I talk about signage, what I mean by that, it falls under the category of sales and marketing and promotion, all of that. But ultimately, what I mean is you have to make it easy for your clients and your potential clients to find you and to buy from you. If they have to take extra steps to find that information, you are losing money. So if you don't have a pricing menu at your reception right now, you need to put it up. If you don't have auto pay posters in your bathrooms, in your reception, like I'm talking about actual yoga studio, very visible on your website, periodically coming up on social media, you're losing money. That's it. You have to sell. You get to sell. And I never view selling as selling. I actually view it as like, look, I see it as I'm helping people. Look, like my offering is so amazing. If you practice yoga, you're going to live a happy, healthy, successful, abundant life. My job is to make it easy for you to come to yoga, make it affordable for you to come to yoga. I don't ever view it as selling. I see it as, look, I'm helping you to live a happy life. Okay. And then please, look, I can talk about it for hours. I look at some of your social media presence. Some of you never sell anything. You're losing sales. Others of you only sell. That is also like a little bit excessive. So there needs to be a mixture. And I'm not going to talk in depth about like social media presence or anything. It's not the topic of today's call, but it needs to be a healthy medium between, hey, look how fun it is at the yoga studio. Look at our amazing community. Look at our teachers. Look at our students. Look at how amazing it is, and selling stuff. In other words, telling people what are your offerings. Okay, number 4, secret to success. Now this is a biggie. I'm sorry, some of you have been with me for years, and part of me feels like I'm a broken record and I'm repeating it over and over again, but like, come on, dude, it is important. It's a clear pricing strategy. So many of you guys don't understand this one, even though I'm telling you over and over again. A clear, simple pricing strategy with a very clear goal. I see a lot of you just put together pricing, and I know that it doesn't have, I can look at the pricing menu and I can tell right away it doesn't have a goal. So let me shift the way I talk. Let me tell you the ideal pricing strategy, in my opinion. Look, it's just an opinion, but it's an opinion who helped me build a multi-million-dollar yoga brand. Again, success leaves clues. This pricing strategy, first of all, your pricing options need to be very few and simple. If your pricing menu goes on for 3 pages, it's too long. It's like in a restaurant when you have too many options, you just spend 15 minutes trying to decide what you want. It's so difficult for you to make up your mind, right? So your pricing options needs to be very few. And every single pricing option on your menu needs to have one single goal, is to convert people to your auto-pay, auto-recurring membership. Now, I have an entire module in my Rockstar Yoga Business course dedicated just to this topic of the importance of your pricing strategy and what is the ultimate goal. But the ultimate goal is for you to make every single pricing option so that it is no brainer for your client to convert to auto-pay membership, to sign up for auto-pay membership. It needs to be clear for you as an owner. It needs to be clear for every single person who works for you. And it needs to be clear to the brand new client who just walks into the room. Does your current pricing strategy do that? Let me give you more specific examples. Intro special, the most expensive. So intro special, it needs to be like ridiculously cheap. You're just giving it, not free though, but cheap. So ours was 30 days for $30. We never gave away free yoga. Do not give away free yoga because it's not effective. Again, I have a whole module where I talk about it. So I'm like, keep it simple, Albina. Intro special is a must. Your drop-in needs to be the most expensive option on the menu. And your auto-pay membership needs to be the cheapest per class, so to speak, option on the menu. So let me just give you an example. So at Yoga One, if I recall correctly, it's been a couple of years, but our intro special was 30 days for $30. We sold it to everybody who walked into the room. Drop-in was $25. 5-class pass was $85. whereas auto pay membership was $79. Now 5-class pass, 85, auto pay recurring membership, 79. Am I making sense? Why would you sign up for a 5-class pass when you can get unlimited yoga to 7 Yoga One locations for $79? Am I making sense? And then we had a 10-class pass. I don't remember how much it was. It used to be 120. I don't know how we made it later on in the years. And that's it. We did not offer 20 class passes or 30 class passes because we wanted people to convert to auto pay. Why is auto pay important? Auto pay is your recurring membership. Whether or not they come to yoga, their credit card gets charged. When you have predictable cash flow every month, you can make plans, you can strategize, you can plan, you can budget. When you cannot predict your cash flow, you're in very deep trouble. Again, I'm not going to go into the details about that. There is a whole module about that in the course. But today, I just want you, I just, as a secret to a business success, I just want to emphasize that you must have a very intentional, mindful, and deliberate pricing strategy with one particular goal. It needs to be simple, very few options, but the goal is to funnel everybody to auto pay membership, and your auto pay sign up needs to be very simple. No minimum commitment, no like 6 months cancellation or none of that. Make it super easy for people to sign up. Okay. So the fifth secret to success, I'm going to tell you. Sales and marketing. Sales and marketing. And I see so many of you glitching around that. Look, I glitched around that too until I spent time to actually clearing those glitches. This is a business. Anytime money is exchanging hands, it's a business. Your personal guarantee is on that lease. You are responsible for people's pay. Your butt is on the line as it comes to paying rent. It is a business. So treat it like such. Treat it as a business. It can be a very spiritual business, but in the end of the day, it's a business. One of my teachers that I've learned so much from, Tony Robbins, how does he say? Money is a spiritual game. Business is a spiritual game. Everything in this world is a spiritual game. Everything is energy. If you're glitching around money, your energy is glitching. If you have a problem as a leader of your community with selling, your business is going to suffer. So in my coaching these days, in my success coaching, I spend time with people just on this topic, helping people take out the glitches around money. But I'll tell you, if I were to sum up the most important thing, how would I say it? You must sell and you must market your business. Instead of looking at it as a must, you get to. It's a part of your spiritual path. You get paid abundantly for the amazing work and the massive contribution that you make into the lives of others. And you need to fully own that. Because I know every single one of you is working your asses off. I know because I've been there. I know what it takes to run a yoga studio. If you have multiple yoga studios like I did, 7, I know how much work it takes. And I also know that the vast majority of you are working your ass off and you are not getting paid. And that is fundamentally flawed. My deepest belief is that you get to get paid abundantly for the outstanding job that you do in this world. And it's not going to happen until you fully own and until you shift your mentality around sales, marketing, and money. In order for your business to be thriving, in order for your business to be successful, you must sell. Meaning you have to tell people about everything that I talked about today, from signage to the pricing options to the intro posters, everything that I talked about is all about sales and marketing. Remember, the secret to any business is just two things. It's not my expression. I think it was Peter Deckert who said that. Two things: innovation and marketing. So what I wrote down here is you must let people know about all the options they have. Make it easy for people to spend money with you. Your website, the two most attention drawing things on your website needs to be buy now and schedule. If you have to dig for it around your website, and for many of you, I know, like I went to y'all's website and I was searching, if it's too difficult for people to find, if it's not intuitive, if it's not easy, you're losing money. Periodically have sales and incentivize people to spend money with you now. It can be anything from an annual pass sale. Last call, I encourage you to have like Christmas in July sale. It's an irresistible offer. It's a no-brainer for people to buy it because it's just so affordable. It's just such an amazing value. Have quick flash sales for a class pass sales. Now there is, again, this is all dance, just like in yoga, right? It's always a dance between too much and not enough. So how do you dance between this yin and yang energy, right? Between strength and flexibility. It's also an art to sell without selling all the time. Is to offer sales without offering them so much that people waiting for the sale. Do you know what I mean? So it's an art. And again, I talk about this topic in nauseam. I feel like over and over and over again. You can look back at the archives and see it in more details. And then again, marketing part is like the posters, the social media posts, the e-blasts, the newsletters, all of that needs to reflect not only, it's just everything that you do, right? It's like what clients see. It's that passion, that vibrant energy, that core of your business, that the sense of community and connection. It's all the amazing things that you have going on. And again, all of those social media posts, all of those posters, with all of those e-blasts need to have an easy way for people to spend money with you. So many of you are making it so hard. My friends, you're losing money when it's hard. People's attention span is so short these days. It literally needs to be big, bright neon letters saying buy now or sign up now. Make it easy for people to spend money with you. Okay, that's all that I had. Oh, I hope it made sense for you guys. Again, every single one of these topics, because I can talk for days about that. I can share with you all the knowledge that I've learned over the last however many years running a hugely successful yoga business. But I want to open it up for Q&A right now. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask your questions.
So on point number 2, where you said you want a constant flow of fresh new energy, new people, like new people from the intro special, and then also you said you have to have several things going on at a time. Can you give me a few examples of a few things?
Yeah. I'm trying to say how to say it. So I do my market research, right? I go to yoga studios and look, if you ever want me to come to your yoga studios, I'd be happy to, because I can tell a lot by just walking into the physical space. And what I've noticed is that a lot of yoga studios are struggling right now. Like they have their loyal fans who have come back after the pandemic. But every time I come, I see the same people over and over again. And to me, that's a problem. Bringing in new people is a must. I would say, I mean, if you can get between 10 to 30% of your people, brand new people, come into the door every month, you're doing well. So set aside, make it clear, right? What is the number you're going to shoot for? And when I ran my yoga studios, I would set those goals every month, every week, every day. Meaning, this is a goal for this quarter. This is how many new people are going to come into the door. Let's just say in the month of August, I'm going to have, I don't know, I'll just make it up, 100 new people come across, I don't know, to my studio, which means how many people a day, right? What is it, 3 people a day, brand new people, 3.3 people a day that'll come into the studios every day. And then so you know what, you have to measure it. What you cannot manage, what you cannot measure. So set those clear goals. And Christine, I've taught you how to do that. Set clear goals, and then if you're not meeting those goals, you have to constantly pivot and change what you're doing until you start reaching those goals. And that is different at any moment in time. Do I tweak my Facebook and Instagram ads? Look at my Google ads. Are they working? Are they not working? What if I did a challenge where, you know, I create a challenge, you know, bring the person, like I said earlier, the person who brings most people to mode 8 in the month of August will get to win a 6-month unlimited yoga pass to the studio, or something like that, 1 month of free yoga. But it's a constant innovation, it's constant pivoting, it's a constant dance. I wish it was as simple as you create a strategy and you let it run forever. I wish it was like that. No, it's a constant change, it's a constant pivoting, but it's also the only way you can change and pivot is when you have the numbers that you're measuring every single day. Am I making sense at all?
Yes.
Did I answer your question?
And also, I guess a little bit more concrete of an idea of several things. So like challenges, like referral programs, like our intro special, like that.
Yes, and also yeah, make it fun. Like I just made up the idea of like referral challenge. I just made it up on the fly right now. Like I didn't sit down and truly like brainstorm about all the ideas. And like I'll tell you how we used to do it at Yoga One. I mean, we were blessed with a leadership team of 10, 15 people. On Tuesdays, we used to meet for a leadership meeting, and sometimes we'd have another meeting in a week where we would just brainstorm. So if you have a team of people who, you know, your confidants, so to speak, your co-creators, take everybody out to lunch or like to get your nails done. And while you're getting your nails done, make it fun, like have some champagne a little bit, and like get people to brainstorm of new ideas, new creative ideas to bring new people into the door.
Okay.
Am I making sense? So one person can do an amazing job, but if you get a team of like 3-5 people, then that energy is multiplied. And you know, probably the vast majority of those ideas are not going to be amazing, but there'll be 1 or 2 that will be golden ideas. All you need, Christine, is one great idea. If out of this call today you heard only one thing, and if you can make that one thing make a massive impact on your attendance and revenues and moving the needle forward and the bottom line upward, so to speak, then you are winning.
Okay.
All it takes is just one great idea.
Okay. Thank you.
Well, you guys, to finish up, what I want to say is, you know, once in a while, I know you guys are busy. I know you're super, super busy. But, you know, I think it helps to go back into archives. And I did my best to kind of summarize what the topic of the mastermind was about. And maybe when you're driving around or doing dishes or folding laundry, you can listen to those because the repetition is the mother of skill. And remember, like I always go back and watch and rewatch programs that I've done many, many times before. But all it takes is just one idea. One idea. If you execute one idea really, really well, it has the potential to change everything. So set aside time, you know, in a practical way, at least like 1 hour in a week where you are looking at the big picture, not just putting out fires that come up constantly every day, but set aside time, at least 1 hour a day, that you know, this is my hour when I'm looking at the big picture for my business. You know, the culture, the direction, the strategy, the vision, the creativity, the innovation. But I encourage you at the very minimum, set 1 hour a week to work on your business, not in your business. There is a big difference. Good luck, my friends. Reach out with any questions. I know many of you reached out to me wanting to schedule one-on-one calls. I am available for that. And because you're my Yoga Mogul members, you get a 50% discount on my usual rate. So reach out to me. I'm happy to help out in any way that I can. Good luck. Bye.